In this video, we'll do another exam question looking at inequalities. In part A, it says use algebra to find the exact solutions of a modulus of 2x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 6 minus 3x. Let's first consider the positive values. So we're going to get 2x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 6 minus 3x. Bringing everything to the left-hand side, 2x squared plus 4x, and then we're going to have minus 12 is equal to 0. That will divide by 2. X squared, then we're going to have plus 2x minus 6 is equal to 0. That's not going to factor, so we can either use the equation or complete the square. I'll complete the square. X plus 1 all squared minus 1 minus 6 is equal to 0. So x will be equal to negative 1 plus or minus root 7. So that's when we take the positive value. If you want to write that out and write x is equal to minus 1 minus root 7, you can do, but that would be perfectly fine. Okay, let's now consider it when it's negative. So what we'll have is negative 2x squared, then we'll have negative x, then we'll have plus 6 will be equal to 6 minus 3x. This time I'll set the left hand side to 0, and we'll have now on the right hand side 2x squared, we'll have minus 2x, and the 6's will disappear. So we can factor that. Let's factor that. 0 is going to be 2x, x minus 1. So we can see that x is going to be equal to 0 or x is going to be equal to 1. And there are two solutions. So by using algebra, all we do is consider the positive and negative values of the modulus. So there we go. On the same diagram, sketch the curve with the equation y is equal to the modulus of 2x squared plus x minus 6, and the line with the equation y is equal to 6 minus 3x. If we just look at this quadratic now, that's going to factor. 2 times 6 is 12. So this one, we're going to have the factors. What's it going to be? 2x minus 3, and then we're going to have x plus 2. So we can draw this graph up. If we know that that's going to look something now like a standard parabola. Okay, so let's get this sketched up. And what we're going to have is the following. We will have now a solution at negative 2, which I'll put just here. And then we're going to have one at positive 3 over 2. So if we put this on, that's 3 over 2 comma 0. This is negative 2 comma 0. So if we place this now, what we'll have is something that looks something like that. Now before it would have come through and back up this way, but because it's a modulus, we're going to reflect it in the x-axis, and it's going to do something like so. And then we'll come up here. If we consider where it would have gone through the y-axis, if it wasn't the modulus, it would have gone through at negative 6. Therefore, this point right here is going to be 0, 6. Okay, if we now look at this line, y is equal to 6 minus 3x, when x is 0, y is 6. When y is 0, x is going to be 2. So let's put that on there, and we'll draw a straight line. This is just a straight line graph. So it's going to look something, give or take, like this. Okay, and this really is quite a sketch. I'm not saying quite a sketch as in it's so brilliant, but I'm just saying that it is really quite sketchy. What we can see from here now is that this point here is going to be 2, 0, and we've got this point here where they're both going through. So on here we can see that we've got the 4 points of intersection. We've got one here, we've got one just here, we've got one just here, and then we've got one just there. That doesn't make it very helpful. Let's actually make them a colour you can see. So there's one there, there's one there, there's one there, and then there's one there. Okay, so that's what we've got, and we might want to label this up. So we might want to say y is equal to the modulus of 2x squared plus x minus 6, and then this one, which is going to extend down here, just leaving it off, this one right here, we can say y is going to be equal to 6 minus 3x. So we've got all the points that we're going through. They both share this y-intercept of 0, 6. We've got the cusp here at negative 2, 0, 3 over 2, 0, and then the point of intersection of the line 2, 0. We need to find a set of values of x for which the modulus of 2x squared plus x minus 6 is greater than 6 minus 3x. The way I think about this is, where is the quadratic above the line? And we can see from this that the quadratic is going to be above the line in this part right here, we can see we've got a small sliver just here of where the quadratic is going to be above the line, and then we've got all of this area right here off to positive infinity. So what we've done in the first part is essentially solved this. If we consider that this part right here was when we were taking the positive parabola. The positive parabola is this part right here, and then this part right here. So this point of intersection here is where we've got -1 minus the root of 7. That's the one just here, okay? If we now look at this one over here, this is where the positive parabola intersects with the line. This one here is going to be -1 plus the root 7. So that one is the one just here. Now, on this one, this is when we solve the negative parabola. And we saw that we had a point at 0, which is this one just here. And we had a point now at 1, which was just here. So what we want to know is whether the parabola is greater or higher than the line. We can quite clearly see on this part right here, this is when -1 minus root 7 is strictly greater than x. That is our first case. So x is less than -1 minus root 7. This one, we got another strict inequality. So now what we can say, or x is going to be strictly greater than 0, yet in turn less than 1. That sounds right. And then our final scenario is when we've got this one over here, and we say, or x is going to be strictly greater than -1 plus the root 7. So those are our three sets of values that satisfy that inequality. And I suppose, you know, a good sketch is going to help you do it. My one concern is that with your parabola, that you're missing this bit right here. But the fact that the algebra tells us that there is a possibility of a solution there is sort of a bit of a driver towards that. So there we go. These are our points right here, and these are now the sets of values for which the modulus of 2x squared plus x minus 6 is greater than the line 6 minus 3x.